Good afternoon, my friends. Woo! First off, I want to apologize for the mix-up in the first show. Even though the mix-up wasn't on my end, it is my responsibility to make sure everyone feels welcome and that they understand they always have a safe place to speak. Okay? I think we got it straightened out in the general voice chat. And I just want to say I'm very sorry to Sister Karen. You are always welcome here. And everyone adores you. Good morning. Not good morning. Good afternoon, Teresa, Mayhem, Kimberly. And look at Sophia dropping those gift memberships. And thank goodness our Connie is here. Exactly. This is from Pat. Everyone, please pretend that Pat tagged you all and take a second and tag Pat. She's not feeling really well. And again, we also know today is Gaelic Girl's birthday. And I will get a hold of her in a little bit and figure out exactly what she's doing. Uh-oh. There's our friend Cat Lady. She says they always find a way to get out. And we're going to talk about that today because I think Lazy has the balls of a burglar to take up taxpayers' money and to try to get a new trial. That's what's going on. That's what she's doing. That's what she's bothering people with. Does she have a court-appointed attorney, an appellate attorney? Yeah. He's not appealing. He wants a new trial. Either way, let's go ahead and let's tell everyone welcome back and good afternoon. Lazy is a turd that won't flush, and so is her mama. And, I really don't have that many nice things to say about her stepfather. It comes a point where you just give it up and just say, you know what? I'm in jail, and it's not that bad. I got my cot, I got my 3 hots, I've got friends to play cards with. I get to go outside for an hour. My mom sends me money for cigarettes. I get my beefaroni. All that stuff, So at some point, you have to ask yourself, Lazy, I'm not talking to any of you, do you really want to go to hell? Do you really? Do you really? She's all wearing like cornrows and shit now. She looks like a damn ape. Obviously prison food is not agreeing with her. Must be a lot of carbs and starches in there because she looks totally, totally different. But wait until you hear what they want a new trial for. Exactly, Broken Goth Doll. We're live and shit. So we're going to do a throwback first, and we're going to talk about how horrible this situation is because we cannot forget that the state of Georgia, their Child Protective Services, flat out told Lime Green there, Billy, and Tangerine stepdad that Leilani was not to be alone with Quentin. Why, you ask? Because she's unfit. Because she's a dangerous person. Nothing. She's not to be around her child, Zane or Quentin. Now, you're going to shit a brick when you see the reason they want a new trial. But first, we're going to go back in time a little bit to refresh everyone's memory, because it's been a long time since October of 2022.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Radio gods. Hey, you lost your membership. Let me put it up here. Hold on. But you're exactly right. It gets worse and worse. She's wasting taxpayers' dollars. Don't we have other things to think about than getting her a new trial? Note, to Lilazy, trials are extremely expensive.
Left right then. I got here about 3 o'clock yesterday.
Look at Jabberjaws with their sunglasses on. The jaw just going.
Today,
And I got here about 3:30 in the morning.
it's been crazy. I mean, we don't know nothing. Whether it's the answers we want to hear or answers we don't want to hear, we just want to know something. My concern is him, and that's all it is. I mean, we concerned with his well-being.
I know everybody worked really hard yesterday, but
And
I
we
want them to keep working hard.
And we appreciate everything that everybody has done, all the people that's come out and searched for him and all that. And he's always smiling. He's a happy kid. I mean, you get some kids but he always had a big smile on his face, and he was always happy.
Let me ask you, why are you getting emotional?
Because he's not here. He's just a baby. And I want him home. He's just a baby. Leilani's my daughter. She's 22. She hasn't always done the right things. And sometimes she does really great, and sometimes she doesn't.
Sometimes she doesn't do good, and sometimes she does really good, and sometimes she doesn't. Okay, listen. You knew because you signed the paperwork, and I have a feeling that Billy knows how to read. That they said Lilazy is not to be alone with Zane or Quentin. Those are the court orders that we've read many times on this channel. Many times. Why Sky wasn't part of it, don't know. Don't make the rules, and I'm not going to argue that because, like I said, I don't make the rules. Oh, sometimes she does real good, and sometimes she doesn't. Well, you have a mess on your hands, Billy.
And I don't know what to think right now. I don't know what to believe because I don't think anybody ever believes that this is going to happen to them. I don't know if I can trust her or if I don't.
I mean,
I just know I'm hurting, and I want this baby home.
We want answers, and we don't have answers.
Just thank you to everybody that's helped.
Thank you for everybody that's looked for him,
and please don't stop looking.
Yeah, like I said, we want answers. We want to find him. That's the answer we want. Is somebody found him. You know, we're still hoping and praying, and we wish everybody to pray for him. Pray for us.
Yes.
I had a hard time praying for Billy because, she's so full of doo-doo. When she complained about when the fire department came and drained their pool, which, by the way, we know from many of the court documents was based on a lie of Lilazy's. Kimmer, is there any chance Billy will be charged for neglect? She should have been a long time ago, but now the statutes run out. Weak. You took her to Tybee Island. You partied with her. You tried to get her to get the number of the waiter. Freaked him out. Then next thing you know, you got on your little motor scooter and you left Tybee Island. And you went back home and said, I'm never going back here again. Why? Because everybody in the restaurant didn't want your asses around. You threw down $300. You threw down $300. Let's get to the timeline of how this all adds up.
Come and gone, and there is still no sign of a missing toddler. Quentin Simon was last seen on Wednesday morning. Law enforcement officers have scoured the area around his home with dogs, drones, by land, by air. WSAV's lead investigative reporter Brett Buffington has been following the story from day one. Tonight, he breaks down the timeline of the case.
At just 20 months old, Quentin Simon hasn't been seen for 60 hours. In those moments, we have told you a lot about the search to find him. But to tell you about the environment he was living in, we have to back up weeks.
Weeks. Now, if anyone can recollect in their memory, because it's been a while since we did our first show about Quentin Simon. I believe we did it October 6th or 7th of 2022. And I think the name of the show was No Foul Play My Ass. Okay? And we got Billy really hot at me. But if you go back in time and you remember all of her lies. And I mean, the 19 indictments speak volumes, but before that, how many lies did she tell Danny? How many lies did she tell Bubba? How many lies did she tell Zane's father? I think the minute that she would talk to Billy, she was instantly lying. And Billy should know her own child better than that. Okay? But they're a hot mess. They're toxic people. They really are.
7th, police were called to Quentin's grandparents' home, where Quentin, his mother, her boyfriend, 2 other children, and the grandparents live. There was a fight, this police report says, between Quentin's mom, LaLaney Simon, and her mother, Billie Jo Howell. LaLaney called the cops on her mom. When officers showed up, she told them she was on probation and didn't want trouble.
She's on probation and doesn't want any trouble. But she called the cops, and this was all over laundry. True story. It was all over doing laundry. And she was on probation at the time because she stole all that shit from the Love's truck stop in North Carolina. Okay? Now, every adult in that home, including Danny, who no, I don't think killed Quentin, even though they still want to hone that home. Every adult in that home understood the situation that LaLazy was not to be with Zane and Quentin unsupervised. Hence why the babysitter was employed while Billy was at work. So this was her grand plan. Diana will take care of the kids during the day. I get off work, but when she goes out of town, all hell breaks loose. And here's going to be the big one. LaLazy had every right to take the stand in her trial, in her own defense, to say what happened. She could have easily thrown anyone under the bus, but she didn't. So is she going to take the stand in the next trial if she gets one?
We don't know what that probation is for. The report says when police officers talked with LaLaney's brother, he told them that Quentin's mom had a history of stealing and used the money to buy drugs. A day later, September 8th, Billie Jo Howell wanted her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend out. She filed for eviction. According to the document, she didn't want any money. She just wanted her 22-year-old daughter, LaLaney, her boyfriend, Daniel Youngkin, and the 3 kids to leave quickly. Here's where the grandmother wrote it.
She wanted Danny, LaLazy, and all the kids, 2 of which, Zane and Quentin, Billy had legal custody of. She had legal guardianship of. Not looking to be compensated. She obviously doesn't have good grammar. Just want them to move out as quick as possible. Leilani Simon is my daughter, 22 years old, with her boyfriend and 3 kids. They have damaged my property, and at this point, no one is living in peace. How much past rent are you seeking? Not looking to be compensated, just want them to move out as quick as possible. Oh, okay. Now, how are you going to swing that, Billy? So when people say, oh, Billy did the best you could, Billy did the best you could, Billy did the best you could. No, you have legal guardianship of Zane and Quentin. That's when you say, listen, I can't do anything about Sky. If you want to leave her here, you're more than welcome. And even though it's more money, I don't need to travel out of town to work. We have a babysitter. But, you two skedaddle. Move on.
They damaged her property, and no one is living in peace. September 16th, Leilani and Daniel found out about the eviction, but we now know as recently as last Wednesday, the two were still living here. That gets us to Wednesday, the morning little Quentin was last seen. At 5:29 a.m., babysitter Diana McCarta got a text message. She told us it was from Quentin's mom, saying Diana didn't have to watch the kids today. Police told us the boyfriend, who we now know is Daniel Youngkin. Police say that's the last time Quentin was seen. 9 a.m., another text message to babysitter Diana, this time from a grandparent, asking if Diana had seen the toddler. The 911 call 42 minutes later at 9:42 a.m. The WSAV investigative unit has asked Chatham County Police for that call. So far, they haven't answered our request. We know from the family, Leilani told police that Quentin's father took the child. The family said that story didn't make sense. And by 2:30 that afternoon, police said the father wasn't involved.
Scratch a lie, find a thief, or find a murderer. And that's what they found out. And I think all the people that were raising hell outside the house understand now, if they've read any of the legal documents, they know what investigators and the DA were doing.
By Wednesday night, the effort to find Quentin involved the FBI, 2 helicopters, a drone, police on horses, tracking dogs, and officers going door to door. Thursday, we watched federal agents search dumpsters, ditches, drain pipes, and the woods. Brett Buffington, WSAV News 3, on your side.
All right. Now, we get to it. With all of that, and we have a guilty verdict. Okay? Guilty verdict. And this is where we sit.
Malice murder, life with the possibility of parole.
Layla.
Look at her shaking her head. Nothing. Malice murder, life with the possibility of parole, which could be 20 years from now. I mean, actually, it could be 15 years from now, considering how long she's already served. She got locked up in November of 2022. It would be a very sad day in America if the parole board let her out. If she really wants to play her cards right, she should go ahead and just do everything they say and be a model prisoner. And then maybe she would get a chance to walk away. I'm not rooting for her, but the new trial and the consistently lying about what she did isn't going to work.
Bonnie Simon, the mother convicted of murdering her own toddler, Quentin Simon. That was when she was convicted. Now back in court today to appeal her conviction. You'll remember our extensive coverage that started in 2022 as little Quinton went missing. Simon was found guilty of killing her son and throwing his remains in a dumpster, later to be discovered in a landfill after a 6-week search. Our Shay Schrader, who's covered this case since the day Quinton went missing, joins us live outside the Chatham County Courthouse. Shay, what happened in court today?
Mike, the state opted not to make any arguments in court today, so it was entirely Simon's attorney who took on this case specifically to see through the appeals process. Now, that attorney is David Locke, and he made arguments in front of Judge Tammy Stokes, who is the judge that presided over Simon's trial in 2024. And he says that there was not enough evidence presented in that trial to convict Simon of murder. Now, this all comes back to the condition of Quinton's remains when they were found. A medical examiner from the GBI testified during the trial that the remains were so damaged from being in a trash truck and then a landfill for 6 weeks that there was no way to tell how Quinton died. Locke argued to the judge that without the cause of death or other physical evidence pointing to murder, the state didn't prove murder or eliminate other possibilities.
They poked at things trying to say that it's not, maybe not real likely it occurred that way, but they did not exclude those other possibilities.
Look, I get he's got a job to do. I get it. I understand it. But I also understand when wrong becomes right and right becomes wrong, we're in some kind of ulterior universe, okay? So what are the other possibilities? Are you telling me that Quinton got outside of the house after all of her lies and put himself in the dumpster? The same dumpster that his mother, they have CCTV of her putting him in the dumpster. That same dumpster, we watched the entire trial. We watched the trial. Waste Management explained when they pick up this dumpster, they have it logged and where it goes. Well, guess what? Guess where Quinton was found? Stephen said, "Well, Brooke, be a lawyer." I don't need to be a lawyer. I heard the trial. I heard it. I heard the trial. Are you a lawyer, Stephen? I don't need to be a lawyer. But I mean, hey, if the taxpayers of Georgia find this fitting to give her a new trial, nothing I can do about it. Nothing.
It's just simply with the lack of evidence in this case, we just don't know.
During the trial, prosecutor Tim Dean actually addressed the lack of physical evidence directly with the jury, telling them that if they opted not to convict Simon of murder due to that lack of physical evidence, they were, quote, bringing her plan to completion. Now, like I said, the state opted not to make oral arguments today. They're going to make theirs in writing instead. Judge Stokes gave them 45 days to do so, and after that, a ruling is expected. Live in Chatham County, Shay Schrader, WTOC News.
Now let me give you a friendly reminder. When Leilani said, "I'm not going anywhere, and if it turns out I'm responsible for this, I'm going to go right there. I'm going to go straight to jail." And Billy's like, "And I'll be right there with her. I'll be right there with her." But now we want a new trial. Okay? We want to take up taxpayers' money for what? She's a damn liar. She waived her right to testify on her own behalf. Her own behalf. Her own behalf. And she didn't do it. No tears for her son when they are explaining the horrific scene they found at the Waste Management dump site. She looked down after eating a Pop-Tart and getting a Dr. Pepper, and then sat there and continued eating her peanut butter crackers. And she's like writing notes down like, oh, I didn't know this. Oh, I didn't know this. I didn't know this. You've got to be kidding me. And I tell you what, she's got Big Bertha with her now. She's got Big Bertha with her now. She's got the sex. She's got the beefaroni. She's smoking. She got the Diet Pepsi, the little cans at 3:00. I think maybe on Saturdays she might get an ice cream. I mean, that type of stuff. So just enjoy that life as much as you can. And by the way, not going to lie, the women's prison she's in is rough. I mean, it's rough. And we have seen what she was doing on the paper. She was playing hangman by herself, but she sits there and she writes it down like, oh, look at me. Oh, I'm just taking all the notes. I have to make sure everything is okay. Have to keep track of everything.
Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us for the news at 6. I'm Dawn Baker. In a WTOC exclusive, Leilani Simon, the mother of missing Chatham County toddler Quinton Simon, is speaking out tonight for the very first time since he was reported missing nearly 3 weeks ago. Chatham County Police and the FBI believe Quinton is dead and are actively searching a local landfill for his remains. Police say Leilani is the only suspect in his disappearance as well as his death. And tonight we have team coverage with our Shay Schrader and investigative reporter Max Dieknike. We begin with Shay, who joins us live outside of the Simon home. Shay, what did she talk to you about?
Leilani and I spoke about a number of things, including what she remembers from the morning she first reported Quinton missing to what life has been like as the days have gone on, still with no sign of Quinton. I talked to Leilani as well as her mother, Billy Howell, who were both just distraught over Quinton's disappearance. They say they've been harassed in the days and weeks since Quinton disappeared, but Leilani wants everybody to know that she's not running away.
I'm here. I've been here every day since this. I am not running and I'm not hiding. And if something does come up that I am at fault, I will take myself to that police station.
I'm not running. I'm not hiding. Now, remember, she was sitting in the front yard taunting the protesters, going, justice for Quinton, justice for Quinton. The justice has been served. She's in jail. I will take myself if I'm responsible. But now she wants a new trial on what some people could call a technicality. And that's basically what they're claiming. The next step in the appeal, if they don't get the new trial, is going to be she had a bad defense lawyer. And that will be the other step to get her a new trial. Will she testify? No, because she's chicken. She's a chicken shit.
Chatham County Police have repeatedly said that though they've named Leilani the prime suspect in her son's disappearance and death, they don't believe she's a flight risk. Leilani says that she and her mother, Billy Howell, spend their days in the backyard of their home because it's too difficult to be inside with reminders of Quinton and the fact that he's gone.
Every day that goes by is less tears and more anger, not knowing.
You're looking at the face of two liars. The faces of two liars. Every day that goes by, it's less tears and more angers, not knowing what happened. She knows. She put him in the dumpster. Billy wasn't there. She knows exactly what happened. Who here would not testify on behalf of their own life or their child? Pit crew, what's up? No, they have sold the house. Pit crew has a question. Do they still live in that house? For some reason, I'm thinking they moved. Yep, they sold the house. Probably because the neighbors hate them. Hate them. But yeah, they moved.
Day that goes by is less tears and more anger, not knowing what's happening. If that's even understandable. You wake up every day angry, hoping that you're going to get a phone call, and that phone call just doesn't come.
CCPD and the FBI haven't released many details in the case and haven't said why they believe Quinton is in a landfill. Police say they're doing that to preserve any potential court cases down the line. Leilani and Billy tell me that they get their new information about the case from watching the news and that they feel all they can do now is hope.
We want something great to come out of this, but mostly we want him not to be found in that landfill. We want him found happy.
Good old Billy. We don't want him to be found in that landfill. We want him, and Lilazy goes, happy. Now, this is a key point that I've done several shows about. We don't want him found in that landfill. You know why? Because they're under the perception that if they can't find a body, then they can't charge her. And they already understood that. They knew that the DA was saying, find me Quinton and I'm ready to charge. We don't want him found, ... in that landfill. Because they're under the presumption, no body, no charges. Listen again.
Been great to come out of this, but mostly we want him not to be found in that landfill.
You don't want him found in the landfill. What would you prefer? Would you rather him be found in your swimming pool? They've already drained that. Would you rather him be found in the woods? Would you rather him be found where else? But specifically, we don't want him found at that landfill.
We want him found happy and alive. We want him back in our arms, holding us. That's what we want. We're just hoping that he's in somebody's house and they're feeding him, and they were hoping that, you know, maybe they wanted a baby or couldn't have a baby. Maybe they thought they were his savior.
So Billy knows this is all bullshit. Hence why she's looking the other way. Oh, he's happy and fed. Maybe they thought they're his savior. For what? For what? Save him for what? They found vomit in his crib. We watched the trial. We know there was absolutely a crime scene in that house. She put him back in the pack and play that had like Cheetos, like he was eating Cheetos. And so that's on there, but he was vomiting. And they assessed it to a head injury. And thank you so much, Gia Twins. Thank you for the super sticker. She needs a slap in the face from every mom that can't have children. Thanks for this update, Brooks. I'll tell you what, you are more than welcome. Because I can't speak. Well, actually, I can. We don't give up on these cases. And so when there's an update, Quinton Simon, Harvey Montgomery, you name it, we will update. I promise. And this chick irritates the hell out of me. And she's right. There's a lot of people that cannot have children. Doesn't mean they don't have a uterus. They don't have ovaries. It means for some reason they can't conceive. But this whole thing, we watched the trial. We know the end of the movie, but now she wants a new trial.
Holding us is what we want. We're just hoping that he's in somebody's house and they're feeding him, and we're hoping that, maybe they wanted a baby or couldn't have a baby. Maybe they thought they were his savior. But it's not. That's their best hopes at this point.
Chatham County Police say they have no reason to believe that Quinton was abducted or kidnapped, and they have evidence that suggests he was placed in a dumpster and that his remains are in the landfill that they're currently searching. Leilani Simon hasn't been charged with anything at this time, but police say she is the only suspect in her son's disappearance. We'll keep you updated as we learn more.
I love how Shay Schrader ended that with, and they say she's the only suspect. You know why? Because they interrogated Danny. They talked to Paul. They even forensically interviewed Zane, the older brother, asking him what happened. And they couldn't get, you only have one chance to talk to a child, by the way, because the court record will say you're suggesting evidence to them. So you have one time. And so Zane, and I learned that during this trial. So the very nice woman from Georgia Bureau Investigation said Zane just wanted to show her how fast he could run. Anyway, they said she is the only suspect. That's it. That's it. But they tried to blame Bubba and, of course, Danny, and they tried to blame Diana, the babysitter.
Don't put nothing in your yard. This is my baby, not yours. That's your baby. That's my baby. I touched you and I told you I was going to do. I'm going to have my phone. You didn't go get it. Now you get off the property. I text you. I asked you over and over. I got the text. Over and over I asked you. And you want to blame me?
See, in my town, if someone stormed in and did this to me, and I get it, times have changed, people swing different ways, this would be a criminal offense to come into someone's house and assault them this way.
I got the text. Over and over I asked you. And you want to blame me? I don't care about the text. You think I want to hit me? Hey, you think I would do that? Yeah. Really? Because I'm what?
No one likes
I'm
you.
what? I'm what? No, I don't blame nobody. I should not have been out of town. You did. You shouldn't have. No, I'm not. I did. I told you. I was trying to.
And I believe Diana, because I've spoken to Diana McCarty way before the trial. She said she spoke to Billy often about what was going on. And all Billy wanted to talk about is how she bought water park tickets for Diana. And then she complained that she had to buy Diana a bathing suit. She complained about the size and everything. And the kids never got to go to the water park. Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. There's a lot of reasons. You have a bunch of kids around water. Diana didn't have anyone to help her. Okay? Diana is a very nice lady. And this has changed her life forever and her entire family's life, to be quite honest. Someone comes barging into my house, guess what they're going to get? Beep, beep, beep. And that's called 911. You better get this bitch out of here, and she better never come on my property again. Ever. Ever. Because Diana has nothing to do with Quentin's disappearance.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I didn't pay for your family, your entire family. Your entire family. Keep recording. Don't pay.
Hold on, I got a question in here. Sarah said, I wonder why Diana didn't testify. She did. She did. She absolutely did. She did. Her daughter did. I can't think of who didn't testify except for Leilani and Billy. True story. Diana did testify. She was one of the key witnesses. And by the way, we have an entire playlist about Quentin Simon, and you can see it from the beginning to now.
Family. Your entire family. Keep recording.
Don't take my phone.
Keep recording.
Don't take my phone.
Good, you were wrong. You were wrong. I begged you to help. I begged you to help. Put that on social media. I begged you to help.
Oh, yeah, and
I begged you to help.
I
said, hey, Michelle, please get the kids.
You're a liar.
Take them. I'll give you
Oh, you're
300
a liar.
rings.
Well, I'm about to put it
I'm
all
a liar.
I'm about to put.
I'm a liar.
I'm about to put it all over.
Good. Good,
All
because
over.
you're awful to say you're going to put a memorial. My baby's
You're a
not
liar.
dead.
You are a liar.
My baby's not
You are a
dead.
liar.
My baby's not
You are
dead.
You're a liar. You're a liar.
No, you are.
You are.
My baby's not dead. I thought you was a
didn't
woman of
say
God.
that.
I thought you were a woman of God.
I am.
You got Quentin? Do you have Quentin?
I don't have Quentin.
Maybe you do. Maybe you do. You got him.
Maybe you have Quentin. Maybe you do. Maybe you got him. Well, they already said they have one suspect, and that's your daughter, Billy. And you habitated this entire toxic environment. You did. You already heard from Child Protective Services of Georgia that said you can never leave Lazy alone with Quentin and Zane. Again, I don't know why Sky wasn't part of it. I don't know why Sky got to go home with Lazy and Danny. I don't know. Billy wants to get custody of Zane. Well, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Danny wants to get custody of Sky. Maybe by now he has. I don't know. But your ship has sailed, Billy. And you don't go around and accuse people of abducting your grandson that you are the legal guardian of. And then try to pretend like you didn't understand what you were told in the documents you were given, which I read them. They seem pretty simple to me. You keep your daughter away from Zane and Quentin.
Maybe you do. Maybe you do. You got him.
Okay.
You got him.
Well, I'm about to call the police.
You're the only one that can go in my house and take him. Your kids go in my house and take him all the time.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
We did not go in her house.
Oh, it's gonna be. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, baby, we need to look at the green card. Yeah, we did. We did. She's gonna put a memorial up in her yard. Quentin's not dead. I didn't put a memorial. He's not dead. No one said he was.
Diana had a prayer vigil and people were handing out flyers. And any time someone says, don't put out flyers, give me the money for the billboard, there is a guilty complex somewhere. So let's get to the rest of exactly why Lazy wants a new trial. Can someone put the playlist in here? I would love for you guys to see it from beginning to end.
Leilani Simon, the mother convicted of killing her toddler son, Quentin Simon, and throwing his body in a dumpster, appeared in Chatham County Court today, appealing her conviction. Good evening, and thanks for joining us here on The News at 6.
Savage, Mike. Savage, Mike. And you're right. Chatham County boy that was put in a dumpster. Listen again.
But first, Leilani Simon, the mother convicted of killing her toddler son, Quentin Simon, and throwing his body in a dumpster, appeared in Chatham County Court today, appealing her conviction. Good evening, and thanks for joining us here on The News at 6. I'm Mike Seela.
And I'm Dawn Baker. Quentin Simon went missing on October 5th of 2022. The FBI and Chatham County Police searched the area landfills for 6 weeks. They recovered partial remains and charged his mother with murder.
Now, Simon was indicted and in 2024 convicted on 19 counts of malice murder, felony murder, and concealing the death of another, also making false statements to police. She was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole.
Lead investigator Shay Schrader, who's been covering this story since the day Quentin went missing, joins us now live outside the courthouse. Shay, what happened in court today?
I love Shay's FAFO face. Like, Been dealing with this girl since 2022. Look at her. I mean, she's just kind of like, well-versed.
Simon appeared in court virtually this morning along with her attorney, who was specifically appointed to her case to handle the appeal. He argued in front of the judge that Simon wasn't given a fair trial and that there is a lack of evidence against her. Lonnie Simon's attorney, David Locke, making a case to Judge Tammy Stokes, who presided over Simon's 2024 trial, that Simon should be acquitted.
Is anyone in here from Georgia? Because I did not know that the presiding judge for your actual trial that you didn't cooperate in, as in Lilazy, can actually preside over your next trial. Seems a little biased to me. But again, every state works differently. Now look at Lilazy on the phone. Look at Lilazy. She's sitting there in the prison blues. She's got the American flag. She's got the Georgia state flag. She's got the cornrows. She looks sullen. This is crazy.
Simon wasn't given a fair trial and that there is a lack of evidence against her. Lonnie Simon's attorney, David Locke, making a case to Judge Tammy Stokes, who presided over Simon's 2024 trial, that Simon should be acquitted on her malice murder and felony murder charges. Locke cited a lack of physical evidence in the case. Quentin's remains were found in a landfill 6 weeks after he went missing. During Simon's trial, an expert testified they were too damaged to determine a cause of death. Locke says there was little other evidence that pointed to murder, and the state did not rule out any other causes of death.
They did not exclude those other possibilities.
They presented a lot of evidence. And remember, they hold some back for the appellate court. So are they trying to say that she just found him dead? And since she was on a drug run, she put him in the dumpster? What else could it be? Considering the FBI, GBI, and Chatham County came out a few days after Quentin, was reported missing and said they have every reason to believe he is dead. Now, had he just passed away in his pack and play, had a stomach bug, something like that, vomit's not going to prove that he was dead. Kids throw up. Kids get upset tummies. We all watch the trial. And if you haven't, go to my playlist. And I'm sure someone in here can put it in here. So right now what we're doing is it's called taking a shot in the dark.
determine a cause of death. Locke says there was little other evidence that pointed to murder, and the state did not rule out any other causes of death.
They did not exclude those other possibilities. It's just simply with the lack of evidence in this case, we just don't know.
During the trial's closing arguments, prosecutor Tim Dean addressed the lack of physical evidence. He told the jury if they didn't convict Leilani based on it, it was, quote, bringing her plan to completion. Friday, Locke also argued the jury was prejudiced against Simon due to text messages that were admitted into the case.
I need to take a deep breath. I really do. Pit Crew, my criminal justice degree is from Georgia, and I didn't know they could preside over an appeal. And maybe Tammy Stokes is just the one that's going to make the decision for a new trial, and then it goes to another judge. Let's take a second and welcome our new members, and thank Sophia and thank Angel P for growing the family. Insane, I say.
Leilani based on it, it was, quote, bringing her plan to completion. Friday, Locke also argued the jury was prejudiced against Simon due to text messages that were admitted into the case. The texts were between Simon and her drug dealer, who she had a sexual relationship with. Judge Stokes originally ruled the texts inadmissible, but changed the ruling after the prosecution said a specific line of questioning by the defense opened the door on the texts. Locke says the ruling shouldn't have been changed.
This was simply an attack on Miss Simon's character.
Locke asked Simon be given a new trial on the non-murder charges.
So we would ask.
Look at her with her pen and paper and her Big Bertha cornrows. She's probably got a girlfriend in there. Look at her.
Locke asked Simon be given a new trial on the non-murder charges.
Oh, look at her. Oh, I've got my pen, I've got my paper, and I'm going back to my cell, and I'm going to wait for my commissary to get through so I can go and get my beefaroni, and I can get my Diet Sprite or my Diet Pepsi, then go hang out with the girls in the yard and play some cards and talk about how we've all abused our kids and we shouldn't be here. Just look at her. No soul at all.
So we would ask the court, number one, to acquit Ms. Simon on various counts, and also on if other counts were made to drag her to trial.
The state didn't make any arguments in court today, instead opting to submit their statements or arguments rather in writing. Judge Stokes gave them 45 days to do so. And after that, a ruling in the case is expected. Live in Chatham County, Shay Schrader, WTOC.
Loser. Loser. I don't even have to call her a loser. I don't have to disguise anything. She's a convicted murderer. She's a convicted murderer. There's nothing alleged here. A jury of her peers convicted her of murder without a reasonable doubt. So for those of you that are going to watch on the replay, please tell me in the comments. Comments are super important. Whether people like them or not, whether they agree with them or not, they're super important because it kind of has a feedback as to what the general public thinks. Will she get a new trial? Tammy Stokes has 45 days to decide, and I don't know if she's going to preside over this or if an appellate judge will. Most judges will find any legalese, if you know what I mean, to make sure that their decision is not overturned. Why? because their job is to judge. And so if it goes to a higher court and they say your judgment's no good, they don't like that. So she's going to have to hit the law books, her and her assistants, and they're going to have to put a brief together to say, she's not getting a new trial. No. But you got another go, and you can try it again. And also, don't forget, GBI, Chatham County, and the FBI have more evidence that they did not put forward. They're not withholding evidence that would help Leilani. They have to save it for the next round. They know how this goes. It should have been life without parole. And I'm tired of these states, and I mean all 50 of them, being sexist. Let me explain. A mother kills her own child, it should be no question, it should be death. You know, the DP. However way they do it. Truth. That's how I feel. They don't take two seconds when it's a man. When it's a woman, they're like, let's give her another chance. Okay, I'll give her the possibility of parole. And a lot of times when they do that, they know they don't have a snowball's chance in Cuba of getting out. It just gives them a better life in prison. Okay? True story. Judge Tammy Stokes, she understands the prison system. She's got it. And so she knows that if she says life, no parole, boom, puts the gavel down. Then she knows she won't get to go and work in the laundry service. She might not have access to the law library. But if you have a possibility of parole, you're treated totally different in the jail. I learned that from Pablo. I've never been in the jail, you know. Nope. But they do that for women, and I think it's disgusting. I don't think there's anything worse on this planet than a woman. Well, I mean, a man too. But in this case, I'm talking about a woman. I'm talking about a mother that gives birth to a child and then kills him and lies and lies and lies and lies and lies about it. Well, thank you for coming for the second show. You know, I love you guys so much. You're always here for the right reasons. No drama, no backstabbing, just pure facts and talking about what is going on in these cases. And that's the truth. Okay? That is the truth. You're always here for the right reasons, and we're all friends here. So you'll have a great rest of your afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow morning. And we're going to be talking about Ryan Davis, the boy that was found on Sunday in Chickasha, Oklahoma, actually Cement, Oklahoma. And we're going to talk about him and new developments in his case. You all take care now.